Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. And today, folks, unfortunately, there's some very sad news for Brooklyn retail. Today it was announced that Century 21 and Modell's are going to be closing all their Brooklyn stores. Now, we kind of knew about Modell's a little bit, but the Century 21 news is big news. And sadly, these are companies that were around for a really long time. But I do have a solution, and hopefully someone out there will listen. So stand by for a really cool video on the future of Brooklyn retail in terms of Century 21 and Modell's. So right off the bat, folks, it's just amazing thinking that these stores are going to go out. I mean, me being born in 1965 and living in Brooklyn almost my entire life, it's just hard to imagine these stores going out. Now, we faced situations like this before when places like A&S went out of business and Woolworth and Ebinger's and things like that. But these two stores are just, they're very big stores. And what concerns me are certain areas of Brooklyn, for instance, like 86th Street, between like 4th and 5th Avenue, you have over there the huge Century 21 store on 86th Street, which is like on 86th and also 87th. It's got the bedding store on the 87th, and on 86th it has the main store. And directly across the street from that, you have the Modell's, and that Modell's is tremendous. In fact, that Modell's was part of the old Dyker movie theater that closed back in, like, I think it was the 70s and 80s. And these are just tremendous properties. So I'm a little concerned. And, another area that really concerns me a lot is Bay Parkway, because Bay Parkway already has an empty Toys R Us store out there. And with the next one going out, with Modell's going out, that's going to be that whole complex is going to be mostly empty. I mean, I know Best Buy is not in the best of times either, but if you think about it, what's going to be left out there? Because if you remember, back in like the 90s, Modell's went in there and they purchased, years ago, there was a lot of other stores in there. For those of you who are watching, you'd remember there used to be a Baskin Robbins in there. There was an arcade in there called More Fun. There was a couple of clothes stores. And the only stores that didn't sell out was the Pizza di Amore, which is still there, and the eyeglass store, which is not even an eyeglass store anymore. It's a beauty supply. So you have a tremendous store on that side, and then you have the Toys R Us and the Babies R Us, which is empty. So what's left in there? You have Kohl's, you have the pizzeria, you have the Wendy's and stuff on that side. So that's another area of concern for me. But I think I have a solution, and I think that will kind of help things out. I think the solution in both of those areas that we're talking about is for supermarkets to come in. Now, the last thing that we want coming in is Walmart, because look, I'm down in Florida right now. Walmart's a great place in places like Florida because they have a lot of space. You don't really have a lot of mom and pop stores in these typical Walmart areas. But as a former owner of a Hallmark Gold Crown store for 25 years, I could tell you that no small business owner wants a Walmart showing up anywhere near their property. And this by no means is no anti-Walmart video, but it's just a realization that when Walmart comes into town, they pretty much knock out all the small businesses because you just really can't compete. I mean, for instance, if there was if I had my Hallmark store still and a Walmart opened up, say, where Bishop Ford High School used to be, there's no way we could actually compete with that because they sell cards, they sell wrapping paper. I mean, the big companies make special deals with them. There's no way on earth you could compete with Walmart. So that's the last thing that you pretty much want in there. So I think the only real solution is to open up some supermarkets. And the supermarkets that I have in mind would be Trader Joe's. You could always open up another Whole Foods. And I personally think Trader Joe's would be one of the best options because you have a Trader Joe's in downtown Brooklyn. They could definitely use one on 86th Street. That would be a fantastic place for a Trader Joe's because it's Bay Ridge is a little upscale, and it would certainly need that kind of place. So in terms of Bay Parkway, if you guys remember from years ago, I believe it was a Grand Union store that was there when I was a kid. Now, where the Best Buy store is right now, there used to be a Grand Union supermarket. And right over there, now, of course, there's a BJ's right there, so you'd be competing with BJ's. But if you opened up a good supermarket over there, say even actually, you do have a Stop and Shop, which is near Cropsey Avenue, but I still think you could have another supermarket over there, say a competitor, maybe a King Cullen, or maybe even a Food Lion that might want to come into the area. I think that would certainly be better than an empty store. Like I said, folks, we want to avoid some of these like retailers like Walmart, because it would definitely be a death knell for all the small businesses around there. So look, I mean, I think what's going to happen is these things aren't going to happen overnight. Modell's and Century 21, they're going to start their closing procedures. The date right now is September 12th, 2020. They're going to start closing their stores. They're going to start selling down their merchandise. And I mean, I would imagine that this might continue. Obviously, it's going to continue past Christmas time. So I would imagine that in the early part of 2021 is when you're going to see these stores empty. So I don't really anticipate, depending on the way the virus goes, I think these stores might be empty for a little while. I think, as Brooklynites, we're going to have to tighten our belt, as my father used to say, for a little while. I think till things just kind of straighten out. So I'm thinking maybe for like a year, it's going to be weird. I mean, as Brooklynites, we're not used to seeing stores that are empty. I mean, God, in the days that I had the Hallmark store back on 9th Avenue, you didn't have an empty store. As soon as somebody went out of business, long before they went out of business, there was someone else already planning to come in. I think, we are living in a very different world right now. Obviously, we're wearing masks. We're wearing, at work where I am, not only do I wear a mask, I wear a shield. It's a very, very different world. Hopefully they're going to come out with the vaccine really soon, and that's going to help things out. But I think once we get past that reality of dealing with something for a little while, I think that things are going to come back to normal. I mean, I just think we have to realize that we are living in a different world, and the sooner we come to that conclusion, I think we can move on. But I will say, and I am going to emphasize again, Brooklyn is the most resilient place in the world. I know that somehow, some way, some shape or form, we're going to maintain the strength, and we might go through a little time of economic upheaval. We might have some people unemployed for a little while, but I know something big and something good is going to come into those spaces, because that's just how things are, folks. I mean, it's just, there's certain things in life, and that's one of them. Brooklyn is solid. Brooklyn is strong. Brooklyn is resilient, and you're going to see it. I think it's going to be, as they said in Apollo 13, it's going to be our finest hour. And I think that's what it's going to be. The hour might last might be a year, but it's going to be our finest hour. So if anybody's watching my video from those stores, from Century 21 or from Modell's, as a Brooklynite my whole life, I just wanted to say thank you for your service. Thank you for the wonderful stores. They were always wonderful, clean stores. In terms of Modell's, the sporting equipment, and going in there and buy sneakers, going in there just to I'm a big Mets fan. Every time somebody new came on the Mets, I always wanted to go in there, and I always remember the shirt from R.A. Dickey after he won the Cy Young. They had that shirt, R.A. Ridiculous, and I got that shirt. So they were really cool. And Century 21, just a professional, fantastic retailer who always had great stuff, great return policies. Just a thank you to those folks out there for your service, and you won't be forgotten, that's for sure. I'll make sure I'll do a video, so you guys won't be forgotten for sure. Well, folks, if you stayed on in the video this long, I thank you very much for that. If you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. You could post it on the link on my channel here. You could just leave a comment. Hopefully enough people are going to see the comment. Like I said, I think somebody like a supermarket has to come in. But what do you think? I mean, there's other options. I mean, who knows? Maybe some kind of Amazon thing would come in there. I mean, I'm just trying to think of places that might just be good. I'm a big bowler, but bowling alleys are kind of on the decline. Who knows? Maybe some kind of entertainment thing. I don't know. But if you guys have an idea, it'd be fantastic. So drop me a line, let me know. Lastly, folks, I want to thank you again for watching, because by watching my videos, you are helping to end suicide in our country. All the proceeds from this channel go to suicide prevention. Unfortunately, we lost my son in August of 2019. He was a musician, he was a lead guitar player, and to honor him, we are starting a foundation. It's like I told you before, it's September of 2020. We have all our paperwork in. We're going to be a legitimate 501(c)(3) organization, foundation, and our goal is, and our plan, we are going to be giving out musical instruments to kids who can't afford to play. We're going to hook them up with lessons. We're going to do suicide prevention. We're going to work with the National Suicide Hotline, thankfully 988, As of 2022, all phones, when you dial 988 on your phone, will go directly to the crisis center. So folks, if you could subscribe to the video, to the channel, that'd be great. If you could share the video, that'd be awesome. But look for our foundation to be starting up really soon. We're just waiting for the final paperwork to come in. Everything is with the state of Florida right now, so with the COVID, things are just a little slower. But you could visit us. It's called the Waffles Foundation. I'll put the photograph of it up there. I have a page on Facebook for the Waffles Foundation. We have a website. It's www.wafflesfoundation.org. Soon you'll be able to donate. You can actually, if you have a musical instrument you want to donate, give me an email, wafflesfoundation@gmail.com. Be happy to have you ship that down to me. And as soon as we get going, you're going to see a bunch of videos. We've already got our things in place. We're going to be working with the Catholic Church down here called Holy Redeemer, and that's just a start because we're Catholic, so that's what we're starting off at. That particular, it's also, it's got a school, it's got a church, so we're going to start there. We're also going to be doing some mail order stuff. So the sky's the limit, folks. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, and hug your loved ones, folks. It's important. Take care of yourself. A wonderful day. Take care now. Bye-bye.